Nestled in the Midwest, where the cornfields stretch as far as the eye can see, a sinister legend has taken root. This is the story of the Cornfield Stalker, a figure that has haunted the dreams of locals for generations. The legend of the Cornfield Stalker dates back to the early 1900s. It's said that a farmer, driven mad by the loss of his family, became this stalker, forever bound to the fields he once tended. According to legend, this sinister farmer turned monster wore a grotesque mask that hid his true identity. Those who have seen him describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if the very air around them had turned to a bitter cold. And the legend persists to this very day. Enter Alex Freeman, a young boy whose disappearance in the early 80s swept the nation with fear upon walking home just outside of the cornfield belonging to the farmer who'd gone mad. He was with his best friend that day, and although Alex has not been seen since, his friend Jacob Baker never forgot what happened that tragic afternoon.
We were walking home from school when Alex had an idea. We were both in a hurry. We were expecting the newest edition of Mustang magazine. Alex and I were really into cars as children. Anyway, we were both excited and decided to cut across the cornfield. It would have been about a mile or so to the other side. Would have cut off about an hour of walking. We knew it was private property, but as children, we really didn't worry about the consequences. We were about halfway through when we first saw him.
After laying eyes on the Cornfield Stalker firsthand, a legend that was popular in their community, but hardly believable, Alex and Jacob ran as fast as they could, hoping to lose the alarming figure within the thick maze of corn stalks.
In the heat of the moment, we both ran. I remember Alex taking his backpack and throwing it at the figure. I guess he was trying to distract him.
The two ran as fast as they possibly could, but they soon realized they were lost. Trying to get a hold of their bearings, they looked around to see which way they should head next. But that was when things took a turn for the worst.
It's like he was studying us. It's like he was deciding how to do it. You know, like trying to decide how to take the both of us.
The two froze in place. They had no idea what to do.
That was when I ran. I ran as fast as my feet would allow. And I got pretty confident too. I didn't hear him behind us. I felt like we were creating a good distance between us and that thing.
But that was when it happened.
The screaming caused me to turn around.
And when he did, Alex was gone. But Jacob didn't give up without a fight. He went back for his friend that day. He went back for Alex. And after walking cautiously through that cornfield, Jacob found what he was looking for.
He had a wound on the side of his face. His face and lips were all bloody.
That was when Jacob noticed something. He wasn't alone. Standing over Alex's body was the Cornfield Stalker.
I started running again, as fast as I could. His family still blames me for that.
Alex's tragic ending was investigated. After coming home and telling the story to his parents, the police were called. They noted in their report that Jacob's story just didn't add up. So the investigation took an ugly turn. They began to focus on Jacob and his family. They began to investigate the Bakers. Ultimately, the Bakers were exonerated of any wrongdoing. But the community never forgot. The fact that the police never found any evidence of foul play, suspicions only grew of Jacob's tall tale. Alex's whereabouts, still unknown, was reported as a disappearance case that eventually turned cold. Although Jacob had moved as an adult, he still got threatening phone calls and disturbing items delivered to him in the mail. And though Jacob would live the rest of his life, keeping consistent to his story, it wouldn't be until many years later when he would find himself no longer alone on what he believed happened that day. Sarah and her aunt were driving home from church that Sunday. As they were making their way down through a farming community, she spotted something peculiar. A figure standing eerily outside of the crops they were passing. More precisely, the cornfield Alex had last been seen. As the two slowed down, Sarah managed to snap a picture. After posting the photo on social media, the community of the small town demanded a search for this cornfield stalker, shedding credence on Jacob's childhood story. But the police stonewalled the demand, stating the photo was simply a hoax. To this day, Sarah stands by her story. Many others, while comparing the photo taken, the undisputed authenticity of the photo itself, and the lack of any ties to the controversy by Sarah or her aunt, are led to believe that the stalker may actually exist after all. And they always say the same thing. If you ever find yourself near a cornfield in Indiana, keep a camera handy. For the next man you see wandering the highway's grassy banks, well, it just might be. The Cornfield Stalker.